Jai Hind all of you. Myself Dr. Sonam Gupta, working as a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So we are going to discuss a complex topic in software project management, which is stepwise project planning. So we are having various aspirations for stepwise planning. First one, it is a practicality. We try to answer the question, what do I do now? Because if we are at a particular stage and we need to know that what will be the next stage, what I have to do the next, then that is an important portion which comes to the scene. Next is scalability. It is useful for small projects as well as for the large ones also. Because suppose a system, it is currently working very well, but at the time if the number of users are increased, then how that system is going to respond? It is another problem which comes. So the system must be scalable well enough. The range of the applications that needs to be defined. Accepted techniques like borrowed from somewhere else like Prince technique, etc. So what are the accepted techniques from where we can borrow all these things? So that also needs to be aspired. This is a particular overview of the stepwise project planning. So for the step 0, we need to select the project. Step 0, we need to select the particular project. In the first step, we need to identify the project objectives. After that, in the second step, we need to identify the project infrastructure. The output from objectives and the infrastructure goes to the third step, which is analyze the project characteristics. Next, identify the product and the activities. Next one, it is estimate the effort for the activity which will be taking place. Then we need to identify the activity risk. After identifying the risk, we need to allocate the resources. So we allocate those particular resources as well. After that, we will review and publicize the plan which is there. And then in the 9th step, we will execute the particular plan. After that, we will be having a lower level planning as well. And then from there, we will be having certain reviews, the lower level details, and for each of the activity, we need to identify the effort and the activity risk which will be there. Now, let's suppose we are having a project scenario. In that particular project scenario, we are having a hardware or a software engineering company, let's suppose of C++ or any language of the choice. And then now the teams are selected for individual projects and the teams have some friction between the team members. Now, HR manager suggested some psychometric testing to select that particular team. For the project scenario, continuing with it, the project package, it will be used to test the staff. Visual Basic will be used as a vehicle for the implementation. And usability is important because decisions to carry out the usability test is also required. Now, coming to that particular stepwise project planning one by one, establishing the project scope and the objectives. We need to identify the objectives and measures of effectiveness. So, how do we know that we have succeeded? Second is establishing a project authority. As we have discussed earlier as well, project authority means who is the boss of that particular project. Identify all the stakeholders which are there in the project and what are their interests in it, why they are the stakeholders for the project. That means we need to identify who will be affected and who will be involved in the project. After that, we will modify the objectives in the light of the stakeholders analysis. So, do we need to do the things to win over the stakeholders? What are the things we need to do? What are the requirements that we need to change? We have to identify those. Next one, establish the methods of communication with all the parties which are involved. So how do we are going to be in contact with them? Now coming to the scenario. So for the project authority, should it be the project manager rather than the HR manager? For the stakeholders, the project team members to complete the online questionnaires, concerns about the result, revisions to the objectives, provide feedback to the team members on the results. Step 2, establish project infrastructure. Establish link between the project and any strategic plan. Now, why did they want the project? Identify installation standards and procedures. What standards do we have to follow? Identify project team organization, like where do I fit in? Analysis of the project characteristics. Distinguish the project and distinguish it between whether it is objective or at the product based. Then we need to analyze other project characteristics, including the quality based ones. Now, what is different about this project? Many of the projects are already in the market based on the same theme, same area. Now, why this project will be different? Step 3, identify high level project risk. What could go wrong? What can we do to stop it? To take into account user requirement concerning the implementations. We also need to select which life cycle approach we are going to use it. Waterfall, incremental or the prototypes. Review overall resource estimates, like whether this will increase the cost. Now, if we go back to the scenario, we will identify it as the objective or the product based. What will be some risk that will be associated with it? Team members, they are worried about the implications and then they are not cooperating. Project managers, they are unwilling to try out the applications. Developer who is there, they are not familiar with the features of VB. So these are the some risks that might occur. So what can be the answer? Can we try the evolutionary prototype? Next is the step 4. Identify project products and the activities. To identify and describe the project product, what do we have to produce? Like this is the product breakdown structure. We are having usability testing. It is divided into various phases. Selecting the subjects, testing the arrangements, test the results, change the request. Now, testing arrangements, they are further subdivided into booked PC, whether it can be a questionnaire design, complete questionnaire and the analysis report. So, this is a particular product breakdown structure. Products, they are the results of an activity and it can be of anything, like it can be a physical thing like an installed PC. It can be a document which is a logical data structure. It can be a person which is a trained user. It can be a new version of an old product, like it can be a updated software as well. So products. So we are not normally, these are the products like activities, the trainings, etc. So these are not the products can be seen. Events like interviews we have completed, we had conducted certain questionnaires. So these are not, these are the events. Resources and the actors like the software developers, we can have these as well. So products, what can be the product? Products can be deliverables or the intermediates. So what will be the description of that particular product? We term it as a PD as well. So PD includes product identity, the relevant standards, description of what that particular product is, derivation, what it is based on, composition, what that particular product will contain, the format, the relevant standards, quality criteria, Then we create a PD for this particular test data as well. Now we need the document generic product flows like the testing plan. Testing plan, what can be done? Select the subjects, conduct the questionnaire, book the machine for it. For selecting the subjects, we can have complete questionnaire and the test results. Similarly, for questionnaire design, we can have completed questionnaire and the test results. For the booked machine as well, we can have all those things. Then from that questionnaire, we can do the analysis of the report and then we can change the request based on those test results and those questionnaires. Recognize the product instances. So the product breakdown structure or the product functional description, they will probably have identified generic products like the software modules, and it might be possible to identify specific instances like module A, module B, module C. So these are the specific instances. So we may be able to find all these specific things. But in cases, this will have to be left to later. More detailed planning is required. It also produces idle activity network. Identify the activities which are required to create each product in the PFD, that is description. More than one activity, it might be needed to create a single product. Like we identify activities by using verb noun, but avoid produce, that is too much vague for it. So we can also draw an activity network for it. Like this is an idle activity network for the testing. So how it is going? We need to plan the testing. After planning phase, it will be divided into 3 parts: selecting the subjects, design the questionnaire and book the machine. After all these things are completed, like subjects have been done, questionnaires have been designed and machine has been booked, we need to conduct the test. After the test, we need to analyze the result and then we can draft the request, change request which is there. So this is an idle activity network. We can also add checkpoints. So checkpoint is, we all know what is a checkpoint. Checkpoint is, if I place a checkpoint suppose at this point, so that means if anything goes wrong over here, I just need to go back from this particular checkpoint only. I do not have to restart the project from the beginning. Step 5, it is estimate the effort for each activity. We can carry out the bottom-up estimates and then we can carefully distinguish between the effort and the elapsed time. We revise the plan to create controllable activities, break up very long activities into series of smaller ones, then bundle up short activities and then we can create those checklists as well. Identify activity risk. Identify and quantify risk for each activity. Damage, if risk recurs, that is measure in terms of time and money. Likelihood, if the risk is occurring. Then we will plan the risk reduction and contingency measures. Like risk reduction, it is activity to stop the risk occurring, and contingency, action if the risk will occur. So we will adjust overall plan and estimates to take account of the various risks. Like for example, we add new activities with reduced risk associated with other activities like training, pilot trials, information gatherings, etc. Step 7, allocate the resources. We need to identify and allocate the resources to the various activities. Revise plans and estimate into account to take into account the resource constraints. Resource constraints can be anything, like the staff is not available for a later date, non-project activities come into the scenario. So these are the various risk constraints we need to gather upon. So what can be done? We can have a Gantt chart for it. Here we are having the dates and then the various modules or the various activities that need to be completed, like plan testing, selecting subjects, design questionnaire, book machine, conduct the test, analyze the results and draft the changes. So these are the various things, and this is the grand chart that needs to be done for any particular objective or the activity. Any activity. Step 8, it is review or publicize the plan. Review the quality aspects of the project plan and then document the plan and obtain the agreement. Step 9 and 10, it is execute the plan and create the lower level plans as well. These all the steps which we have discussed from step number 1 to this particular step number 10. These are very much required to complete any project on time with full security and reliability. If we are able to complete these particular projects from step number 1 till n, then the project can be successfully completed, and these are required.